welcome you to our 25th VWIL anniversary celebration. I'm somewhat disappointed that we aren't able to do it face to face, but I'm excited to see unmasked faces at the same time. So while this is a interesting time to be conducting these types of things, I am thrilled that we have found a way to put this together this evening so that we can all be together and join in this celebration. And I am delighted to welcome President Fox, Command Sergeant Major Johnson, our current VWIL cadets who are joining us this evening. Brigadier General Djuric is going to speak with us as well as part of our official 25th celebration. After the formal portion of the program, we will have some time to join one another in breakout rooms and catch up. If you have any questions or need assistance during the program this evening, please direct those questions in the chat box to either Ann Holland or Amy Davenport from the Alumni office, and they will be happy to assist you. But first, to kick us off this evening, I'd like to invite Adrian Teague, the Executive Director of Alumni Engagement, to bring greetings on behalf of the Office of Alumni Engagement and the Alumni Association.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sherri. It is just such a pleasure to be with all of you here tonight. And I share in the disappointment that we can't do this in person. Being an alumni engagement professional, it's all about relationships and it's all about connecting our alumni back with your alma mater. And we just cannot wait until it is safe to bring you back to campus and to do so hopefully very soon. So I just wanted an opportunity to share with you that I've been here a little over a year. It's been an interesting time to be somewhere, but I have certainly had an opportunity to dive right in with our fabulous alumni engagement team, both Amy Davenport and Ann Holland, who are joining us here tonight, to really look at our alumni engagement strategy and to let that be the forefront of the work that our great team has the opportunity and privilege to do, along with very strong volunteers like all of you who help us to get the job done. And so I'm especially grateful for also a very strong university partnership with our office that we have with General Djuric and with Command Sergeant Major Johnson. General Djuric has just worked so hard to establish the relationship since I arrived in November 19. I remember her walking in my office. She had have a VWIL folder right behind me. It's got all the accoutrement that I needed to get caught up with the program. And so she has been just a strong advocate for you all, for VWIL, for the institution, for women's leadership. And so I've just so enjoyed working with her, and I appreciate the opportunity to collaborate with her on this program tonight. So our Corps of Women and alumni have such a strong history of service and leadership here at Mary Baldwin and beyond our walls. And so it is an honor to be celebrating that 25 years of legacy with you all tonight. And I look forward to meeting you all in person. We were hopeful to have our homecoming activities together in person, but not quite far enough along with the vaccine rollout. But stay tuned for next year, and we'll certainly hit the 30th strong. I'm positive of that. But I look forward to continuing to partner with you all, especially as we need to do things in a virtual and safe space to continue to strengthen our relationship with one another and with your alma mater. So as we've shared with you by email, one of our proudest accomplishments of this year has really been the launch of our new alumni website, which was the #1 thing that alumni like you had requested when we conducted a survey back in spring of 2019. So you spoke, we listened, we heard, and hopefully we have delivered. But this new communications tool really allows us to better connect alumni with news and events and communities that are important to each of you. And that platform was serviced, built, and supported by an alumni committee that's focused on communication. So it was, the alumni voice was represented all throughout, and we're so grateful for them and helping us get that there. So within that new site and platform, we are continuing to focus on our affinity communities like VWIL so that we can provide really better opportunities for you all to network with one another and connect with one another through these special programs. And so we recognize that each of you share a very unique bond because you went through the VWIL program here, whether it was 1 year or 4 years. And so we look forward in the coming months and years to build on that legacy, to continue to build out your alumni VWIL page, to be able to feature VWIL alumni, provide more events like this. And so if you have not had a chance to head over there, I will drop the link in the chat. And I encourage you just to be able to do that so that you can remain connected with one another. We also have an online searchable directory. So you just register with the site and you can search for any of your fellow VWIL alumni or non-VWIL alumni friends. So I encourage you to do that. It's all free and a service that we're very happy to provide for you. So as I mentioned, we were hopeful to do homecoming in person, but we'll be doing a very engaging program in June, the weekend of June 4th through the 6th. And before you all worry about being inside on your computer all weekend long on a beautiful summer day, we promise that we have kept this small and tight to have some opportunities to really reunion on Friday night, learn a little bit with one another on Saturday, have a live cooking tutorial and dinner on Saturday night, and then to be able to celebrate our anniversary programs like the VWIL 25th and our program for the exceptionally gifted, which is celebrating its 35th anniversary on Sunday. So we want to just encourage you to stay tuned on that, and please come back and join in all of the fun. And also, if you have not had a chance to snag your very fantastic VWIL sweatshirt, you can still do so. There's still time to do that. And we offered that. That was a beautiful offering from General Djuric. Those are $25. It covers the price of merchandise plus shipping to get to you. So we will process those after this event and get those out. But if you're interested, just shoot me an email. Again, I'll pop that information in the chat, and we'll make sure that you've got your VWIL gear and good to go. So finally, I just encourage you, remain connected with us. There's so much good stuff happening here at your alma mater, and we really want to share that with you and brag on your successes as our alumni, and to also continue to celebrate this fabulous milestone that we are all here tonight commemorating. And so I thank you all for letting me be here with you, and I thank you all for being here with us. And so I'll turn it back to Sherri.
Thank you, Adrienne. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Pamela Fox, the 9th president of Mary Baldwin University, to provide us with a university update to commemorate the 25th anniversary of VWIL.
Thank you, Sherri, so very much. And good evening, everyone. What a great honor and privilege it is to be with you here this evening, a very special evening of fellowship celebrating the 25 years of the Virginia Women's Institute for Leadership. Thank you for gathering. Thank you, Sherri, and everyone else who's leading the way to bring us to this. It is a truly momentous occasion. So here, just as a bit of context, on your beloved Mary Baldwin campus home, it's spring on these beloved hills, but I have to say today it's been a bit chilly. We actually had a few snowflakes here today, but just taking your mind a minute to travel back to your favorite moments as we approach the end of the spring semester. Think about that for your senior year, for May term, for change of command, for commissioning and commencement. Think about those beautiful emergent green lawns. Right now, the pink and white blossoms are emerging. We've had clear blue skies over the horizon, the amazing sunsets and sunrises. So go back to this place where beauty really dwells. This year, of course, has been an unusual year, as we all know. We've all experienced it. But for Mary Baldwin, we forged ahead with our 179th year. I am so proud of our whole community. I'm really grateful to all of you for your support as we have reopened and maintained the health of our community. In spite of everything with the pandemic, we've achieved record enrollment for another consecutive year. We have found ways to maintain cherished traditions in the midst of the pandemic, like Apple Day and Founders Day. We've held classes, we've had new spaces, performance spaces and rehearsal spaces, like outdoor spaces in the new Rose Terrace Tent Theater. And we're preparing now for our virtual capstone festival, for continuing all of our community service and so much more. We're really excited that we will be able to hold modified in-person commencement ceremonies in May, including a special ceremony for the members of the class last year of 2020, who we hope may be able to return. So through all of this in the past year, VWIL, as always, has led the way in continuing to serve our community. This year, the Corps of Cadets, as always, has been leading the way 24/7, above and beyond, in every aspect of service. So think about that for a minute. 25 years, a quarter of a century, 460 distinguished graduates. For the commemorative program that we're going to have listed for next week, I took a chance to look through and study all of those names. I don't know all of you, perhaps not everybody who's here tonight, but I do know many of you, and I feel very privileged. You are amazing in the breadth of your accomplishments, in your military and your civilian leadership. When I looked through that, I paused over every name, feeling so moved. And I thought back to myself that tomorrow is the anniversary of my inauguration as your 9th president in 2003. So I cherish on my desk, it's right over here, a photo that VWIL gave to me on that day in my inauguration. So I thought that for 18 of the 25 years of VWIL, it has truly been my privilege to watch the program grow, to watch each of you grow the program. First and foremost, seeing you enter, seeing you off to Wilderness, speaking at the Null inauguration parade, and everything else that happened in between for your transformation. I don't think I've missed fewer than maybe 5 parades in 18 years. And each time I've been able to be with you, I've been moved, and my admiration for you and my admiration for the Corps continues to grow. You assembled here tonight, you are VWIL. You have made it what it is today. You have forged this foundation for 25 years, and you are the legacy that will keep it going forward for 50 and more years. So I cherish through all of this, all the individuals I've been privileged to know as the pioneers of VWIL. Certainly for me to know all the chairs of the Board of Trustees who were brave enough to bring this forward, Charles Luck, Anna Kate Hipp. And then the concept of VWIL was formed. Certainly President Tyson, who took that forward with bold leadership. And then coming in with Brigadier General Mike Bissell, who always kept me on my toes, always engaged me in conversations. And Dr. Brenda Bryant, honestly, I know most of you feel the same. The most amazing colleague, friend, and mentor I've experienced in my whole life. And Dr. Sharon Spalding, I hope she might be with us tonight, present for all of you at that formative phase and throughout in terms of mentorship and leadership. And then we have the continuity of leadership with General Djuric and so many others who have come beyond. So I just want to say in great humility tonight to the VWIL alumni, you are remarkable. You have created and continued the tradition of the Corps. It's your Corps, it's your legacy. You have proven above and beyond as students, alumni, and leaders that you are amazing and that you have forged this foundation and its future. So think about this, 25 years. We really need to broadcast the story. As a historian, I have continued to study the documents related to our history. With the passing of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I read a lot of all those documents. I have reviewed all of them related to the Supreme Court rulings about the creation of VWIL. It's time that we articulate what we are doing moving forward. So when you think on June 26th, 1996, Ruth Bader Ginsburg read aloud to a packed Supreme Court courtroom, including President Tyson and many others from Mary Baldwin, portions of what would be considered one of the court's most important decisions in years. She expressed that sentiment that VWIL would be a pale shadow of VMI, affording no cure for all the opportunities and advantages for women. Well, you are no pale shadow. You are a beacon of inspiration. And next week, I hope you'll be able to tune in on Thursday when we have the 25th inaugural parade. And I've taken all of these thoughts to a higher level, and I will be able to send them to you. But you inspire me daily. You have made the core. You are history. Each of you, every day, forged with fire and commitment. I'm really humbled by you. I want you to know that I pledge my commitment to enduring this legacy, that it be known broadly, that the resources that are needed to ensure this is continued, and that VWIL and Mary Baldwin are joined in legacy forever. Please accept my humble gratitude and thanks tonight.
Thank you so much for those kind words and for your unwavering commitment and support of not only continuing the program, but continuing to grow the program as well. We are very appreciative of that to you, Dr. Fox, and for being with us this evening, and for also helping us to stay engaged and plugged into Mary Baldwin community as well, and not just keeping us in a box. Some of us from the early years remember there was a lot of division, and it's a really wonderful thing to see the whole community together now as it is. If you, again, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but if you have any questions throughout tonight's program, if you have any questions directly for Dr. Fox, please feel free to drop those into the chat, and she or someone from her team will be able to respond to you. Now I want to invite Command Sergeant Major Gerald Johnson to offer his greetings and to introduce the two cadets that are joining us this evening.
Well, welcome. Good evening to everyone. Like Sherri said, my name is Command Sergeant Major Gerald Johnson. I am a Stanton native, born and raised. So I was in the Army for about 30 years. Did a little bit of active as well as active National Guard. I am the second senior enlisted advisor here at for VWIL. I think some of you remember Chief Schermerhorn. So definitely I speak with him very much. That's dealing with the cadets and taking care of them at VMI. Just some of the things, I think some of you remember some of the things Chief Schermerhorn did. So I definitely assist General Djuric with a lot of the planning, the guiding, the PT, the academic achievement. So VWIL is still a robust program where, academic achievement and physical training, and of course, guiding young women to be the best they can be. But enough about me. I want to introduce two current cadets, Cadet Tiffany Perrine and Cadet Danetta Thomas. They will be definitely helping out tonight when we break up into groups here to help answer questions. So again, welcome. Nice meeting all of you.
All right, thank you, Sergeant Major and Cadets Thomas and Perrine for being with us tonight and tying together the current VWIL experience. And if any of you are like me, you're also probably triggered a little bit from this slideshow at the beginning and reflecting on our own time at VWIL, lots of familiar faces and spaces in that. And we wish you all the best as you move forward through the rest of this semester and graduation. I can tell you, now that I am far on the other side of it, that there is no other experience that shaped me as much as my time at Mary Baldwin and my participation in the Corps of Cadets. Nothing else prepared me as much for my career and for just being an adult in this world that we live in these days. Now I would like to invite Brigadier General Terry Djuric, the Commandant of Cadets, to share her remarks and commemoration of the 25th anniversary of VWIL.
Thanks, Sherri. I'd like to defer the first couple of minutes to Cadet Sergeant Perrine and Cadet Thomas. So Tiffany, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience at VWIL.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany Perrine. So I'm from Grass Valley, California. My major is criminal justice with the emphasis in law, and then I'm doing the leadership minor. And then after graduation, I will be commissioning into the Navy. I hope to be a pilot. We're still working on that. Just took the flight test for the first time. I'm going to take it again in a couple of weeks. And that is me.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. My name is Donetta Thomas, and I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my major is health sciences pre-PA, and my minor is in leadership. Post-graduation, I hope to go to PA school here in Virginia at EVMS, and then become a PA. And then one of the inspiring moments about VWIL is just meeting my sister Knowles and having that camaraderie with everyone. I genuinely love all of my sister Knowles and have had a great time thus far in VWIL.
Give me 1 second. Great. Well, I just wanted to take a little bit of time. I think, a lot of times when the alumni call in, and I always welcome people to give us a call, 7042, that's still our main number, or just email at vwil@marybaldwin.edu. We're always happy to answer questions about the program and just show you how resilient the program still is 25 years later, following many of your traditions that you set in place. And this is a shot from our induction parade back in August. And you can see the strength of the incoming freshman class. And over to the right, you can see our diversity numbers, very similar to when you guys, each of your classes came in. But I emphasize this, and Sargent Major does as well, when we speak to our partners in across the nation, as well as our ROTC partners in SMA, because it really goes to show that your program that you put in place, that it's still recruiting based on what it stands for. And that's nationwide. Sometimes we're well above 70% for our incoming freshman class. The race and ethnicity amongst the Corps goes up to as much as 77% some years. And that's gotten a lot of attention by programs that are willing to invest in the Corps of Cadets based on the diversity that it brings to the nation. Specifically, the Coast Guard has recognized that, and 3 of our cadets have earned 2-year scholarships because of the high minority rate within the Corps of Cadets. Our commissioning rate, as you all know, it varies between classes based on choice. And I saw Lieutenant Sikorsky dial in, and she was my first captain, training me right out of the Pentagon. And her class, they were up about, I think they were about 77% commissioning rate. So every class has different commissioning rates. First generation, you all know President Fox is a first generation college student. And I think across Mary Baldwin, we inspire families to invest in the education of their first generation students, and we help them accomplish their degree in 4 to 5 years. And VWIL is among those. And I think it always catches people a little off guard. And Sargent Major is a first generation college student as well. But it catches people off guard because they don't realize that your diversity amongst this Corps of Cadets is really the strength that you bring to the nation. And of course, we still have many NCAA athletes, 35% participating in all different types of sports here at Mary Baldwin. So I wanted you to hear the numbers, but you all are really the recruiters that are out there as you talk to the future generation of cadets. The cadets still, as President Fox said, are still having a huge leadership impact, just like you did. They are in the student government. Next year, they're going to be the student government president. Throughout residence life, Sergeant Major and I are always amazed. And Tiffany's one of our RAs over in Cable Residence Hall. But we've got probably 12 RAs across the campus, and that's a big deal that they're able to support the university through residence life, captains of their teams, club leaders. I saw Kaylin Coe log on, and she helped create our Help Save the Next Girl club through the CJ department. Admissions and ambassadors all through winter break. We had Mary Baldwin, and admissions ambassadors were VWIL cadets. And they were actually our Coast Guardsmen who are on active duty going to college. And the Coast Guard needed a place for them to be working throughout winter break. So we partnered them with the admissions team, and they did all the tours in person throughout winter break. And so big thanks to that team, and they continue to do a great job. Orientation leaders, I know everybody enjoys being a part of that. And of course, because of your intellect, many of you were peer advisors and tutors, and that continues today. Dr. Fox mentioned the Supreme Court decision back in 1996. I thought I'd just focus in on you and that one part of that decision that basically said that we didn't have alumni that were prestigious enough and would have a reputation, provide us those connections, the support and the influence. But I'll tell you, 25 years later and the 7 years that I've been in this position, you are an inspiration, just like President Fox said. And all I have to do is call or send you an email and you say, of course I can do that. And you all have been doing the virtual leadership seminars for our Corps of Cadets since the first day I got here. So we can't thank you enough for what you do, and all you have to do is reach out to us. This has been kind of a rough year for us across the Corps of Cadets, just staying focused and moving towards change of command and commissioning and getting the freshmen through rites of passage and breakout. But we're ready to roll you all back into those connections and the support. I'll tell you, reputation wise, I was thinking briefly, and I'll probably share some of these comments during the parade that we'll do next week, but you own your own businesses. You're on Capitol Hill. This is just to name a few. You lead press conferences for international humanitarian events. You are incident commanders for natural disasters. You're leading surgeons, you're senior officers in every branch of the military, and next month we'll have a field grade officer in the Space Force. So super job, what you do, your reputation precedes you. Follow us on the website that Adrian has put together for you. We've got these links set up for you, but you can find us thanks to the Denny twins. They've really pushed hard when they were here, to get all the pictures out on Flickr. You've got both your Facebook page for the VWIL alum, and then you've got the Facebook page for VWIL. And we have an Instagram site, and we're trying to do weekly updates on that. If you're looking for news, once a quarter we put out a newsletter with SMA, and I'm really proud of that. And it takes what Dr. Bryant put together in the Leader magazine, and it merges that with the SMA newsletter. And so we've been doing this for a number of years. Every one of those newsletters is on their website. So you can just type in Stanton Military Academy and pull up the newsletter. And they handed this off to the cadets about a year ago. So the cadets are now the editors for the cablegram and the Leader. We've got LinkedIn, a VWIL association on that. Not a lot of members, but I think what we'll do is we'll keep pushing on that. I think that would be a great venue for us to be able to link professionally different career fields with our current cadets. Twitter, we've got a site on there and we do weekly updates. And then of course, the cadets came to Sergeant Major and I, who are certainly not the best at social media, but about 2 weeks ago, they asked us, could we have a YouTube channel? So we have created a YouTube channel and there is one video on it, but we're gonna work hard to pull the rest of it in. And of course, join us virtually next week and we'll record the video, the parade, but that's at 3 p.m. Eastern time for the VWIL 25th anniversary parade. And we'll have that on Facebook Live on our website. So thanks again. I appreciate being a part of this and allowing you to join in tonight and have a laugh and have a great time talking to each other.
Thank you, General Jurek. So I've seen a lot of faces from my classmate and from the folks who were there with me. And I know that I've also seen some names and faces this evening who had the pleasure or displeasure of being at Mary Baldwin and part of the VWIL Corps of Cadets when I was teaching ROTC at VMI. So all of you are already aware that if I am not provided a script and I go off script, I tend to get a little long-winded. But briefly here, I'm just going to give a quick reflection and just tell you that as someone who was there in the first class, who literally helped write the book and worked with Dr. Bryant and Dr. Tyson and General Bissell, the change of responsibility with General Jurek was a significant emotional event in my life. And I knew at the time that it was the end of an era. But I have to be honest that at the time, it also felt like the end to me. And it has been an absolute honor and pleasure and such a joy to see the way the Corps has not only continued, but grown and had an even greater impact in the Mary Baldwin community, in the Stanton community, in the Virginia community, under General Jurek's leadership. And she didn't just step into some really big shoes. She made those shoes her own, and she has left an indelible mark on this Corps of Cadets. And General Jurek, we just really thank you for your commitment and dedication to the legacy of this Corps and the heart that was behind it and continuing it into the future. So thank you. And now I'll get back to the script before I mess something up. If, again, you have any questions for our speakers this evening, please drop those in the chat and we will work on answering those as we move into the next portion of our evening program, which I have my Lolita Mary Baldwin glass all prepared for, ready to get the party started, if you will. We're now ready to move into the breakout rooms and have some time to connect with one another and catch up. In just a moment, you'll see on the screen a list of breakout rooms pop up. Feel free to connect with your classmates through these half-decade breakout sessions. Be aware that the members of the Commandant's team that are with us this evening, General Jurek, Sergeant Major, and the two cadets, they will be split into the rooms as well. There'll be a fly on the wall, so don't worry about it. But if you do have any questions about what is happening these days on campus, if you have a memory that you're going back on and you want to find out, does that tradition still live on? They will be there to answer those types of questions. You will have 45 minutes to connect. At the close of that time, we'll rejoin everyone in the main Zoom room where we'll officially adjourn our program. There will be a 1-minute countdown letting you know that we're about to do that, so you can kind of wrap up whatever you happen to be discussing at the time. There will also, if you're not familiar with Zoom, there are 2 buttons. There's typically a red leave button. When you go into the breakout rooms, you'll also see a blue button next to the red leave button, and you can exit using the blue button at any time and come back to the main room and choose to go into another breakout room. So if you connect with one group initially and you'd like to connect with another group as the evening progresses, you are able to just sort of move back and forth. If for some reason you're having technical difficulties and you are not moved into a room at all, just take yourself off of mute and let Adrienne know which room you'd like to be added to, and she will facilitate that for you. And without further ado, let's go.
And I'm here. If anybody's having trouble, just unmute, let me know where you want to go, and I will happily put you where you need to be.
I think because I'm in this as in a hosting function, it's not automatically assigning me, and I don't know
Right.
how to press the button.
Okay, sure, Sherri, I will get you in there. Hold on just a minute.
Bless your heart, Sherri.
I know.
Bless your
Good
heart.
Lord.
I'll meet you in the room, okay?
Thank you.
You just touch the screen.
Let's see here. Jenny, do you want me to put you in a particular room?
In other words, I'm not supposed to be where I currently am.
Correct.
I see my people, so bye.
All righty. Everybody. So if you all don't mind, I'm going to turn it over just really quickly to Chuck Davis, our Vice President of University Advancement, just to say a few words of hello.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I really have no big message for you, but I did want to explain who I am here on the call tonight. My name is Chuck Davis. I'm the Vice President for University Advancement at Mary Baldwin, and I echo the words of my colleagues who have preceded me about how delighted we are to have you all here, how important you are to the future and the history of Mary Baldwin, and how much we appreciate your support. Our job is to engage alumni, one, and to seek philanthropic support from alumni, two. And for all of you who choose to make Mary Baldwin one of your philanthropic priorities, we are so grateful. And you know that every dollar that comes into the institution is important and makes a difference. But we're just grateful to have you all with us tonight. And we are so delighted. Our country is in great need of the women that are on this screen. And now more than ever, it is so important. So we're grateful to each of you for your service, for your honor, and for all that you do for Mary Baldwin as alumni and for our country. So thank you so, so much.
Thanks, Chuck. And Sherri, I will officially turn it over to you to close out our program.
Awesome. So I hope that everyone had a fantastic time catching up. I popped into 3 rooms because, feeling my social butterfly while I have the opportunity, because most of the time the people I talk to are 5 and 6 years old and are a lot shorter than me. So it's fun to see people of an appropriate age and to hear those conversations. So if you didn't get your fill, this main Zoom room will stay open for a bit longer at the conclusion of our program. So you'll be able to chat in here. And I want to say again, thank you to all of the speakers who joined us this evening to share their reflections and opportunities with us. I know that in the rooms where I popped in that had the cadets, they were being put through the motions, being asked a lot of questions about what's happening on campus. So thank you especially to our 2 cadets who, whether they volunteered or were voluntold, participated with us this evening. I encourage all of you to remain connected. Check your email for alumni and MBU news. Reach out at any time to plug back in as a volunteer with VWIL or Mary Baldwin. I can tell you, having been a member of the Board of Trustees for several years, that it is really a wide open opportunity for you. However you think you could best support the community is open to that service from you. Whatever time or energy or talent or communication that you're willing to lend to being a voice for Mary Baldwin, to connecting with the current students, we would love to have you. So please do not hesitate. Don't think that I'm last year's graduate, nobody wants to hear from me yet. That is absolutely not the truth. And if you think that you're too old, that's also not the truth. So please, we do want to hear from you. If you would like to participate in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out and connect and take advantage of these incredible platforms that are available for you to stay connected, to stay in communication, and to connect with one another. It's really sad to me and a little bit that things like Facebook didn't exist when I was a cadet and when I first graduated, and I lost touch with a lot of my classmates that way. You guys are so blessed by these platforms that are available. So please use them to stay connected with one another. And I wish everyone a wonderful evening and day ahead. for some of you. I know it was like 9 o'clock in the morning for the person who joined us from South Korea. So thank you for that. Be well, and I look forward to seeing you all again in June for the virtual homecoming. So make sure that you're paying attention to your email and looking for your opportunity to register to participate. Again, that is 4 to 6 June is the virtual homecoming opportunity. And coming up really soon in 1 week is the VWIL 25th anniversary parade. It will be live broadcast on Facebook at 3 p.m. Eastern. It will also be recorded. So hop in there and give some support and love on that current Corps of Cadets. So thank you for being with us this evening.